Conflict in Africa, a matter of hours before military intervention takes place in Nigeria. Pressure from the international community is mounting on the military who seized power in Niger last week, with hours to go until tonight's ultimatum by the leaders of the Economic Community of West African States, CEDEAO in French, or ECOWAS in English, who are said to be ready to intervene militarily in the country's bleeding organizations. And Leonidas Vatikiotis explains to the military channel what exactly is happening right now in Africa. He says the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs emphasized that it supports with vigor and determination the efforts of CEDEAO to thwart the attempt to seize power by the military for the future of Niger and the stability of the entire region. And as we see from the map, Niger has a lot of oil resources, energy resources. The day before Friday, the chiefs of staff of the armies of the member countries and the regional organizations agreed on the outline of the possible military intervention against the coup plotters in Niger, according to CEDEAO official. All elements of the possible intervention were worked out during this meeting, including the necessary resources, as well as how and when we will deploy military force, said ECOWAS Commissioner for Political Affairs and Security Affairs, Abdel Fattah Musa, after the meeting of the chiefs of general staff in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria. On July 30th, 4 days after the military coup that overthrew elected President Mohamed Bazoum, CEDEAO gave the coup plotters 7 days, until tonight that is, to reinstate him, the democratically elected President Bazoum, warning that the use of force could not be ruled out otherwise. The ousted president is in good health. Demonstrators in support of the military takeover demonstrations took place across the country on Friday and Saturday, with participants carrying flags of Niger and Russia, as well as portraits of the military who overthrew the government, according to state television and journalists on the ground. In Paris, about 30 people demonstrated support of Mr. Bazoum, among them Prime Minister Uhumudu Mahamadou. We still hope that the negotiations will have a result and there will not necessarily be a military intervention, said, assuring that at the same time that President Bazoum, who remains imprisoned after the coup on July 26, is in good health. The armies of West African countries, including that of Senegal, said they were ready to send forces. A source close to the Ivory Coast delegation also referred to the deployment of forces without specifying how many men would be mobilized. The head of French diplomacy, Catherine Colonna, told France Info yesterday morning that we must take very seriously the threat of intervention by CEDEAO. In another interview with RFI, she emphasized that the various coups in the region have caused harm after those of recent years in Mali and Burkina Faso. Mrs. Colonna also said the French military force deployed in Niger would remain, as Paris does not recognize the coup and as a legitimate government. Ignition of the whole Sahel. French Defense Minister Sébastien Lecornu told AFP, Associate France Press, AFP, that Paris knew the situation was fragile in Niger. However, he added that what was perhaps surprising was that the trigger for the coup was a personal difference between General Abdourahmane Tiani, the head of the coup, the junta, and the Presidential Guard. In Mali and Burkina Faso, countries that, like Niger, are bleeding from the action of various organizations, the coup plotters who rule declared solidarity with those in the neighboring states and explained that they would consider any military intervention against them as a declaration of war. And in Nigeria, voices are being raised against possible intervention. Victims will be innocent citizens, the Forum of Northern Nigeria senator said in a statement signed by its spokesman, Suleiman Kao Sumaila, adding that residents of the northern part of the country would be adversely affected. We unequivocally reject any military intervention, Algerian President Abdelmadjid Tebboune said on the Nahar TV network late last Saturday. Two countries, that is Mali and Burkina Faso, are ready to go into battle on the side of Niger's coup plotters, he said, warning that in the event of military intervention, there could be a conflagration in the entire Sahel region. Vigilance brigades. The coup plotters in Niamey have declared they will proceed with immediate retaliation if they receive any attack. Priority is still given to finding a diplomatic solution, according to Mr. Moussa, with whom Benin, a country that neighbors Niger and is a member of CEDEAO, agrees on this. Western governments also favor a dialogue solution, notably Germany, which has called for mediation efforts to continue. Relations between Niger and former colonial power France have taken a sharp turn for the worse in recent days since the coup took place. On Thursday, the junta cancelled security and defense cooperation agreements with France, which has deployed more than 1,500 troops on Niger soil in the fight against terrorism. In Niamey, where there was calm yesterday, vigilance brigades made up of civilians took up positions in squares and intersections, guarding against the external threat. In a decree read Thursday night on state television, the military regime instructed the population to be vigilant, to prevent the action of spies and foreign armed forces, and to immediately inform the authorities of any information about suspicious entries or movements. This is from Militaire, a Greek article, and I've translated for you. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.